Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's What's Up Wednesday, where we are going live with you on Facebook and LinkedIn every Wednesday at 2 p.m. to talk about our upcoming 19th Annual International Human Trafficking and Social Justice Conference, which is going to be hosted virtually this year on September 21st through the 23rd. So, my name is Anna Schramm. I am the planner of this amazing conference. I work at the University of Toledo's Human Trafficking and Social Justice Institute. And today we have a special guest speaker with us, Dr. Kimberly Hogan. Thank you for being here. Kim is a assistant professor with the School of Social Work at the University of Southern Mississippi, and she's also the co-founder and co-director of the Center for Human Trafficking Research and Training, which aims to be a hub and a resource for human trafficking research and training in the Deep South, which is extremely needed. We were just talking about this, Kim. So happy you joined us today. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for hosting this important conversation.
Yeah. So
And
can
What's
you?
Up Wednesdays. Yeah, I love
Yes,
it.
love the What's Up Wednesdays. They're so fun. So can you just start us off by giving us a little bit of background on the work that you do, the research that you've conducted in the anti-trafficking field?
Absolutely. So, hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. What's Up Wednesdays. I love this. Get to talk a little bit sneak preview of this awesome conference that's going to be happening in September. So, I am Kim Hogan. I'm actually from Ohio. And
Woohoo.
yeah, exactly. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I was a high school teacher. And I read the book, The Slave Across the Street by Teresa Flores. And I was teaching social justice at the time at a local high school in Cleveland, Ohio, and director of service learning. And what I found is that I didn't know a lot about trafficking. This was like 2013. And then I heard about Celia through Teresa. The more I learn, the more I realize we really don't know a lot about this phenomenon right now in the United States. Fast forward like 9 years, now I'm in the Deep South. I have my PhD. I graduated a month ago. And one of the most rewarding experiences was when, and just shows how awesome Celia Williamson is at Toledo, is that I met with her the summer of 2015 with Teresa. Teresa's like, let's go up to Toledo, Ohio and talk to Celia. And Celia's like, if I were you, I'd quit your job and go work for Dr. Rose Sepwitz out in Arizona. So that's what I did. And I worked at ASU STIR office, which is the Office of Sex Trafficking Intervention Research, with Dr. Rose Sepwitz for 6 years. And that was just an eye-opening experience where I did research in Arizona, Hawaii, Nevada, and California, and really try to be social justice and social embedded within the communities, how research can transform the political landscape, the social service landscape, and law enforcement landscape to really make things trauma informed and survivor centered. So I worked with the vice units both in Las Vegas and in Phoenix, analyzing their adult sex trafficking and minor sex trafficking cases. And you can see a lot of the research out on the ASU STIR office website, which is fantastic. So I loved my time there. I learned so much as a researcher and a PhD student at Arizona State, ASU. And I hope to translate a lot of what we've done in the Southwest to now in the Deep South. I was particularly looking for a place here in the United States that needed my talents and research capabilities that I worked at ASU. So when this job became available at Southern Miss, I said, why don't we, apply? I said this to my partner, my wife, and I got the job. And now I'm working so close with Dr. Tamara Hurst, who's in our School of Social Work here at Southern Miss. And we just had approved about 2.5 weeks ago by the Institutes of Higher Learning here for the state to have a center on human trafficking research and training. So things are just like plugging along in my first year. I feel like so grateful because I hit the ground going because Dr. Hurst was already on the council here, and just have that attitude of like, let's go, we can do this. and working together, but also informing community members and those that are stakeholders within the state to come together really on this issue and make positive change for the state and for, the Alabama and Louisiana as well.
Yeah, you really did hit the ground running, and you have already like done such amazing things in your short time there. And the University of Southern Mississippi, I feel like, is very lucky to have somebody like you. And I'm really excited to see what important and good work is going to come out of that center. So, you have actually attended our conference many, many times over the past 19 years. So, tell us a little bit about your experience as a presenter, attendee at the conference, and what keeps you coming back year after year.
Absolutely. So, well, like one of my core memories of the conference was when I was with Teresa Flores in the Soap Project, and we have like a Charlie's Angel photo at the University of Toledo. And that was my first time I went with Teresa because she helped out with the high school day way back when. And I went to just help facilitate that as a high school educator at the time. And I felt like I found my people. Like the conference is not just an opportunity. So at this time, I was just a high school educator, right? Someone that was interested in learning how can I help the kids that I have in my school right now, like equip me with the knowledge and the skill set to really help these kids if I come across any potential situations. That's what I was looking for at that time. And I was able to make those connections through the various workshops and also the keynote speakers at the time. And I would say throughout the years, that's why I keep coming back because number one, I'm from Ohio and I want to support everything you're doing. And it's an amazing opportunity to connect with folks that are like-minded, but also those that are different than my own agenda, right? So I come from the perspective of the anti-human trafficking field, but I know Celia is open to the positive sex work experiences and getting that perspective as well. So it helps me inform, who I am as a researcher and understanding that base of knowledge, but also from the practice experience and also the amazing stories of lived experiences of human trafficking survivors. If no one has ever heard the stories that are so impactful, they really leave like an indelible mark. I feel like those stories is what keeps me going in this important work, right? Like researching about human trafficking, there's definitely a secondary trauma, aspect to it in a sense, and keeping those stories alive of those lived experiences is something that really keeps me going. It's like my North Star of like why I'm doing what I'm doing is to make services better for the people in which we serve. Like, and that sort of experience is something that you can gain at the trafficking conference. And I'm not going to lie, one of my favorite things too is when Celia has the researcher meeting and we all come together and it's like, these are all of our people, and there's so much more room at the table. So someone's watching this right now and like, oh my gosh, I never thought I'd be a researcher, right? Well, guess what? I used to think that myself too. But if you have a passion for new knowledge and making things better in social services and the systems that deal with trafficking survivors, this is your place. Please come to the table because really we need more people that are interested in trafficking and advancing the knowledge along.
Yeah, thank you, Kim. That was great, and thanks for highlighting some of the things that I also love about the
Yeah.
conference. And I'm glad that you do keep coming back year after year because you add a lot to it as well. So you are actually presenting at this year's 19th annual virtual conference with your research mentor, Dr. Dominique Rosepowitz, who you mentioned you'd work with at ASU.
Mhm.
So your presentation is on the prevalence and individual risk factors of homeless young adults who report sex trafficking victimization. So I'm sure you're going to be talking about a lot of information in your actual presentation at the conference, but give our listeners like a brief taste and a sample of what your presentation is about.
Absolutely. So one of my interests has been when I first came to Arizona State back in 2015, every year ASU STIR office does this awesome study called the Youth Experiences Survey. Again, I keep highlighting the ASU STIR office and their website. You can go and check out all these reports. And as a person that identifies as in the LGBTQ community, I started to realize, why is it that the majority of the sex trafficked group within our data every year is LGBTQ identified, right? And then what does that do to inform systems? And how can we look at the individual risk factors a little bit more than just like a chi-square analysis where we're just looking at two variables, right? So in this new study in 2017 with Dr. Rose Sepowitz, we're looking at building off of, in the Journal of Human Trafficking, in 2020, we published LGBTQ homeless young adults and sex trafficking vulnerability. It builds off that study, and what I'm presenting at the conference is now taking those risk factors and putting them into a logistic regression to see what leads into sex trafficking victimization. So really trying to build that knowledge base now of known risk factors that we know now through the evidence that we've gained throughout the years now in trafficking, of like being a runaway, substance abuse issues, LGBTQ identification, juvenile justice involvement, child welfare system, variables like that, and really looking at like, is there any statistically significant associations? And one of them, not shocking, is the LGBTQ identification. And then a little teaser per se is that I just defended my dissertation, and I look forward to next year, hopefully presenting that new knowledge that I've gained on looking at, then taking it a bit further of the LGBTQ identified lived experience of trafficking, what leads into that victimization using a logistic regression. So, and then that was coupled with interviews, 16 interviews across the United States of LGBTQ individuals that have experienced sex trafficking. So my hope is that we continue to understand the unique vulnerabilities of homeless youth and young adults, and really meeting the clients where they're at and understanding how we can best serve them. And also these risk factors help in preventative efforts, right? If we can come up with, well, like being an LGBTQ identified homeless young adult, right, in Arizona now for the past 7 or 8 years is a known risk factor, 2 times more likely to be sex trafficked compared to heterosexual individuals. How does that transform and relate to the systems of those agency service providers? So that's what I'm really interested in, is helping communities come up to speed with, this is what trafficking is, but also we need to really keep in mind this subset of the homeless youth population, right? Because of their unique vulnerability. So yeah.
That's amazing. That's going to be a great session. And if anybody is interested in learning more, attending that session at the conference, make sure that you do register on our website. You can visit that at www.traffickingconference.com/register. So you can sign up to hear more about Kim and Dominique talk about that research. So I do want to highlight a couple of the other research topic sessions that are going to be at the conference. Remember, you do have over 110 sessions to choose from. It's our largest conference. So I'm just going to be listing a small sampling today of some of the ones that I want to highlight. But also remember that all of these sessions at the conference are going to be recorded. So then after they happen live, those who have registered can watch the on-demand webinars for up to 3 weeks after the conference. So you'll be able to take advantage of some of the sessions that maybe you weren't able to attend live. So some of the ones I want to mention that are research related. So researcher Charles Hanmanu is going to be talking about empowering children at risk of trafficking through a community-based behavior change approach, which is going to be a great session. Mm-hmm. Then we have Logan Knight. She's going to be discussing her research study about sex trafficking survivors, defining what resilience means to them. In her presentation, You Come Up from the Ashes and You're Like a Phoenix, which I love that title. Then we have, yes, it's so great. Then we have Ina Lucia Mariaca and Andres Eduardo Buenaventura. They're going to be talking about their research on intrafamilial child sexual abuse, exploitation, and trafficking of boys, which I think will be a very interesting presentation as there's not as much research being done on male victims. So that'll be a good one to attend. Then another interesting presentation from researchers Lauren Bollinger and Marianne Thomas. They're going to be talking about financial abuse and coerced debt in the lives of sex trafficking victims. And then the final one I want to mention is your fellow co-presenter, Kim, Dr. Dominique Rose-Sepowitz. She's going to be presenting again, and she's going to be joined by Christopher Carey and Sergeant Molly McDade. And they're going to be talking about their research on the connection between tattoos and sex trafficking. So lots of great presentations that I just mentioned. There are many other research ones that I didn't, so make sure that you check out our schedule on our website, which can be found below, and sign up for the conference. So anything else that you want to add before we wrap up, Kim?
It's awesome. I hope everyone can make it. I would love to connect with other people that are interested in this work and really continue to advance things forward here in the United States and abroad. And I think that's also awesome is all 50 states, right, are represented.
Yes.
And several countries come to this every year. So it's a really great way to inform yourself. Yeah, look at this. I love it.
Yes, I have the thing. So yeah, over the past 19 years, we've had people from all 50 states, and now we're up to 47 countries. I'm excited to see our country numbers keep growing as we have remained virtual, and it's just easier for more people to attend the virtual conference from all over the world. And it's really cool to just, like you said, like connect with everybody. And, you know, you can do that in the comfort of your home, but you're on the same call as people from all across the world and talking about these amazing issues and learning all of these amazing things from the top experts in the field. We are really lucky that we're able to bring a lot of people who've been doing this work for so long. So yeah, very, very excited about that. I did just see from one of our fellow listeners on LinkedIn, Joseph Oswego, he commented that great work. So thank you, Kim, for the great work that you've done. Anything else that you want to add?
No, thank you so much for having me, and most importantly, continuing this annual conference that brings so much knowledge and relationships together. It's amazing.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kim, for joining us on this week's What's Up Wednesday. Remember, we're going live with you guys on LinkedIn and Facebook every Wednesday at 2 p.m. to talk about our upcoming conference. So we're going to continue to highlight some of the sessions that you can attend, the variety of topics that you can learn about. Next week, we're going to be talking about our programming topic sessions, and we're going to bring back Dr. Celia Williamson next week. So she'll be with us. So we look forward to seeing you back here next week. Again, if you want to learn more about our conference, just visit our website, just traffickingconference.com, and we hope to see you there. And have a great rest of your week, everybody.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.